Kryon. First quarter of 2026 greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. Let's review the first quarter of 2026, now that has passed, and you may have realized that there really is something different about this year, as I anticipated earlier, that its characteristics are completely new. This is a different energy for this planet. Let's analyze some of the aspects I mentioned. How are you handling the situation? Perhaps you too have encountered some difficulties. The first thing I told you about 2026 is that this is an energy never seen before on this planet, and that things will begin to change dramatically right away. Other things will remain and happen later this year, however you will begin to anticipate them, or perhaps see the seeds being planted. So let's start with the most important one. One of the things that 2026 will bring is closure. For ancient souls, this is profound. Also for the world, because you will experience the same feeling that you do. A closure, a kind of resolution, one might say, a way to address unresolved issues and finally see them resolved. To finally see something concrete happen regarding matters that have remained completely unresolved. And the first thing that happened was a war. And this happened almost immediately in February, dear ones. You have observed the synchronicity and wondered, why now? I take you back 47 years, quite some time, to the problems that began with Iran. With the regime change, the hostage crisis, everything that happened back then, it was never resolved. Do you realize that? That particular relationship between that country and the United States was never resolved? It has always been conflicting. There have always been difficulties. There have always been sanctions, and the situation dragged on for nearly half a century. Do you realize that? Why now? Suddenly, this year, the situation comes to a head. Why now? Suddenly, therefore, the desire for closure, for agreements, for something lasting emerges, which didn't happen before. You have to ask yourself why now? Is it just a coincidence? It is not a coincidence. This is the energy of the present. The entire Middle East is perhaps involved in some kind of resolution of change, so that it does not remain unchanged. So something will happen, or agreements will be made that didn't exist before, to allow newer, younger actors to step in and get the job done. The job of resolution, the job of agreements, the job of peace. And we told you this will happen. Why am I telling you this? Because, at a micro level, the same thing is happening to some of you as well. Some members of this very program comment, why is this year so difficult? And it is difficult for the same reason many would say, well, in this wonderful new year, Kryon, why do we have war? It is an attempt at resolution. What has happened recently in your life that may have resurfaced unexpectedly, concerning unresolved matters? I am referring especially to relationships of all kinds. Between brothers, between sisters, between parents and children, at work, in short, any type of relationship. Things left unspoken and unresolved for years are finally coming to the surface this year. Has this happened to you? Perhaps this would explain why things are the way they are. Soon we will talk about dreams, and this month we will dedicate an entire program to this topic. How many of you are having unexpected and unpleasant dreams? Perhaps something is being processed in your mind. There are things you have set aside because you didn't want to, because they scared you, or because they were too painful. This often, dear ones, translates into unpleasant dreams. Sometimes dreaming of these things is the release you needed, that your brain needed in some way, even at night, to provide you with this information and allow you to process it. Now, this is rather subtle, but it is all part of the picture. There are so many subtleties I've told you to look for in 2026, especially in the ancient soul. Let me ask you a question. Here is your challenge. How many of you have mustered the courage and decided to do something you have never done before, and perhaps don't even want to think about because you didn't like it? This was the challenge, and I told you so. Do things that take you to places you have never visited before. Now, this is difficult. It is difficult for almost all human beings, especially if they are older, because you get used to your habits. I like this. I don't like that. I eat this. I don't eat that. So, here I am in my bubble of what I do and what I don't do. And this often stays with me for the rest of my life. Someone will come and say, well, why don't we go over there? And you will answer, I don't do that. And that will be the answer, and perhaps it has been until now. The challenge. Say yes to things you normally wouldn't say yes to. And the reason is this, and it's obvious, but you need to hear it again. It takes you out of your bubble, and in that bubble are the synchronicities waiting for you to be seen, encountered, experienced, analyzed, and used. You will find yourself in situations that will push you to act in ways you never imagined. You might meet people who will become lifelong friends, even in places you would otherwise never visit. You will meet people who can help you solve your current problems, or perhaps they will help you try something new and you need support. But you won't get any of this by staying home in your bubble, because you know your bubble inside out. In your bubble, there are no surprises. And this is one of the things I say to ancient souls around the world. Get out. Do something you normally don't do. And it doesn't have to be something radical. It's simply about going to places you've never been before, perhaps with people who want you there with them, or something happens and you think, what a coincidence, here's a message or an advertisement for something I've always wanted to see, and then you do it. And then you discover why that message struck you that way. Dear ones, this was the second point I was telling you about. 2026 is a year of change. The particularity of this year is that there isn't the same resistance there was in 24, 25, and previous years. That resistance is almost non-existent now, which allows you, point number 3, to try again things that didn't work before. What might you have tried in the past that you thought was a good idea and didn't work as you hoped? Whatever it is, think about it now. Is there something that disappointed you because it didn't lead to any results? Perhaps something you tried in a previous energy? Now, there are 1,000 sayings about not continuing to try the same thing expecting different results. I tell you, however, that this time might be different. Is it worth at least trying to look into the matter one last time? This energy is for you. So, the other challenge is to reconsider perhaps some of the things that didn't work as you hoped. You will find that there is very little resistance at the energy level and that the situations that previously prevented things from working are now very different. Try them. These are the kinds of things we talk about. To ancient souls trying to navigate this new landscape, in this energy of 2026 that is truly, truly different from anything you have ever experienced before. It is particularly difficult for those who have come out of about 30 years of a certain type of old energy and say, well, now it's safe to go out. And you'll say, really? Well, so far it hasn't been. Well, now it is. Try it. Give it a try, as they say. It is the year when some of you will actually change direction in your lives. And you will change direction because a new intuition will tell you that it's okay. All these things I'm asking of you. How are you doing so far? We will talk again about these kinds of things that, let's say, concern your field. And so it is. The natural energy antihistamine for empaths greetings. I hope everything is going wonderfully in your world. Today I would like to talk again about a hormone that many sensitive souls desperately need in their lives. Because when you deeply perceive the emotions, moods, and energy of others, emotional overload can quickly become exhausting. Fortunately, this powerful hormone plays an incredible role in calming the nervous system and helping us regain emotional balance. One of my many theories is that an empath's emotional reactions to others' energy can work very much like an allergy. Let me explain. Those who suffer from allergies know well that constant exposure to an allergen often leads, over time, to milder symptoms, albeit still annoying. The body, to some extent, adapts. But if you spend a period of time away from that allergen, and then suddenly return to contact with it, the reaction can be much more intense. And I believe this is exactly how emotional energy often affects empathic people. When we are in contact with people every day, we can experience what I call milder energetic reactions. We learn to live with certain personalities, environments, and emotional atmospheres, even if they silently drain our energy. But after moving away from the noise of the world, after solitude, healing, rest, or emotional peace, returning to chaotic, heavy, manipulative, or emotionally overwhelming energy can feel almost unbearable. Suddenly, the stress response amplifies. Many empaths have noticed this after periods of isolation. After getting used to quieter energy, returning to crowded environments, facing emotional tension, conflict, or interacting with demanding personalities felt incredibly stimulating. It's as if the nervous system has become hypersensitive. And here's where things get interesting. Just as antihistamines help calm allergic reactions in the body, there seems to be a natural energy antihistamine that helps alleviate emotional overload in empaths. And this powerful substance is oxytocin. Oxytocin is often called the love hormone, but its effects go far beyond love and bonding. It is both a hormone and a neurotransmitter that plays a fundamental role in emotional regulation, nervous system balance, feelings of safety, trust, calm, and emotional connection. Low levels of oxytocin have been associated with anxiety, increased emotional sensitivity, depression, PTSD, fear, and social overwhelm, increased stress responses for empathic people. This is critically important. Studies suggest that increasing oxytocin levels can help reduce stress hormones, calm the nervous system, alleviate anxiety, and create a sense of safety and emotional serenity. Exactly what many sensitive people desperately need after absorbing too much emotional energy from the world around them. So how can an empathic person naturally increase oxytocin levels? Here are some effective, scientifically proven methods. 1. Aromatherapy oils. Certain essential oils have been shown to promote oxytocin production and emotional balance, particularly clary sage and geranium, chamomile. These oils can be incredibly relaxing for sensitive nervous systems. I personally find them especially useful for relieving emotional heaviness, calming anxiety, and creating a sense of inner tranquility after emotionally draining interactions. Clary sage, in particular, has a profound rebalancing effect on emotions and the nervous system. Always ensure essential oils are 100% pure. 2. Hot baths and healing rituals. Elevated temperatures and sweating have been associated with activating the brain areas that produce oxytocin. This may explain why a long hot bath can be emotionally therapeutic for empathic people, almost like washing away absorbed energy. One of the most regenerative practices is the combination of hot water, Epsom salts or sea salt, essential oils, healing crystals, silence, or relaxing music. Clary sage and lavender together create a wonderful balance between emotional release and nervous system relaxation. Adding grounding stones like hematite or purifying stones like amethyst can transform a simple bath into a profound, regenerating, energetic rebalancing. For many empaths, bathing is not a luxury. It is a form of emotional support. 3. Herbal tea and nervous system healing. Chamomile tea is far more effective than many believe. This gentle medicinal herb has long been used to calm the nervous system, reduce inflammation, alleviate anxiety, and promote relaxation. Furthermore, research suggests it may also support oxytocin production. I particularly like pairing chamomile with fresh ginger. Ginger is highly anti-inflammatory, calming, warming, and excellent for digestion, an area many empathic people struggle with when emotionally overloaded. Sometimes healing begins with something as simple as slowing down and mindfully sipping a cup of warm tea. 4. Nutrients that support emotional balance. There are several nutrients directly linked to healthy oxytocin function, particularly magnesium, vitamin C of vitamin D. Magnesium is especially important for empathic people because it supports the nervous system and helps oxytocin receptors function properly. Without sufficient magnesium, the calming effects of oxytocin cannot fully activate. Many sensitive people unknowingly have magnesium deficiency due to chronic stress, overstimulation, insufficient sleep, and emotional exhaustion. Magnesium-rich foods include a dark chocolate, avocado, almonds, bananas, leafy greens. Vitamin C not only supports the immune system, but has also been linked to oxytocin secretion and mood regulation. Vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin, is deeply connected to emotional well-being, which may explain why so many people struggle to manage their emotions during the darker winter months. Even just 20 minutes of sunlight a day can make a remarkable difference. 5. Sleeping in complete darkness. Darkness is incredibly beneficial for the sensitive nervous system. When we sleep in complete darkness, the body increases melatonin production, a powerful hormone linked to deep healing, anti-inflammatory effects, emotional recovery, and increased oxytocin release. Melatonin is produced by the pineal gland, often spiritually associated with the third eye, to which many empaths feel a strong connection. Simple measures like using blackout curtains, reducing blue light exposure, and creating a quiet sleep environment can profoundly influence emotional well-being. 6. Grounding and reconnecting with nature. Perhaps one of the most important practices for empaths is grounding. Nature has an incredible ability to regulate the nervous system, alleviate emotional overload, and restore energetic balance. Immersing yourself in nature, walking barefoot on the earth, sitting by the water, touching trees, or simply spending time quietly outdoors can have a profoundly calming effect on the mind and body. Empathic people are not meant to remain disconnected from nature for long. The nervous system begins to suffer when we do. So, if you often feel emotionally exhausted around certain people, overwhelmed after social interaction, or highly reactive after spending time away from energy-draining situations, you are not imagining it. Your sensitivity is real. Your nervous system may simply need more targeted care, more grounding, and more effective emotional recovery than others. Protecting your energy is not a sign of weakness. For an empathic person, it is essential for well-being. Until next time, Diane. Angel's message. Focus on what you like. I like the waving cactus, dear friends. We love you so much. Play a little game with us. Think of a lemon. Imagine its texture. Imagine cutting it and seeing, feeling, or smelling the fresh juice splashing on your hands. If you don't have a particular kind of eyesight, imagine what you can. Now imagine cutting a slice and biting into it. Imagine the taste. Can you perceive the changes in your mouth as you do it? Did you make a face or did you smile? You never physically touched a lemon, but by focusing on it, you perceive something in your tangible reality. Now think of a song you really liked in the past, maybe a childhood song, or something you were passionate about as a teenager. Trust the first one that comes to mind. Imagine listening to it. Try to remember the words or the melody. Did you dance to it or relax to it? Go back in time. Remember as many details as possible. Pay attention to the sensations you feel. You weren't physically listening to the song, but as you immersed yourself in the experience, you may have perceived something in your body or emotionally. You are creating a physical experience simply through the power of your concentration. Finally, think of someone you admire, love, or adore. It could be a person or an animal. Focus for a moment on this person and how much you love them. Focus on the qualities you admire in them. Remember a joyful or fun interaction. Pay attention to how you feel. You are not physically in front of this person, but to the extent that you can focus on them, you can perceive their energy. Your ability to concentrate offers you the opportunity to select and sift through all the opportunities life offers you, choosing what seems best to you. Your concentration allows you to be the sensitive, empathic soul you are, to feel, to be authentic, and to care for others, without absorbing, or rather tuning into, all the energies around you. What if your television were an empathic being that hadn't learned to tune in? Like you, it has the ability to receive a large number of transmissions. If it weren't specifically tuned to a single channel, you would see an incessant stream of images flashing across the screen, probably without any meaning. Similarly, if you haven't yet learned to manage your attention, you might feel bombarded by a barrage of frequencies. Many of you perceive this as a sense of overwhelm, fatigue, or unexplained anxiety. You were not meant to receive every single transmission, nor were you expected to respond to everyone who wants your attention. Just as you learn to use the remote control, you can learn to manage your attention. The next time you find yourself in a public place, maybe at work, school, class, or even the supermarket, pay attention to what you notice. There are people to see, conversations all around, perhaps background music, beeping of equipment, etc. Most of you already filter some of these elements. You might not hear the background music, the air conditioning, or the machine beeps. But by paying attention to what you notice, you will begin to understand how you are tuned in to your world. Perhaps someone is talking loudly or arguing, and it seems to be invading your attention. Perhaps you sense that someone is confused or needs help. Perhaps you feel the agitation of a mother with 3 unruly children in front of you, or a colleague's stress. If you sit in a doctor's office waiting room, you might feel the anxiety of those who came before you. Unintentionally, all these beings are transmitting, and if you are not intentional, you will receive them. Now, in this sea of energies, choose something pleasant to focus on. It could be a song on your phone or a good book to read. It could be the variety of colorful fruits and vegetables at the supermarket. It could be a cheerful person, or even the blue sky outside the window. It could be a pleasant thought in your mind. Try to focus on the person, thought, or pleasant thing, almost completely excluding everything else. You might still hear the loud conversation, but by focusing on the pleasant thought or thing, you will notice that the volume of the conversation and any annoyance related to it decreases as the pleasant sensations increase. As simple as it may seem, practicing your ability to concentrate allows you to develop one of your soul's greatest superpowers. When you are sick, you can focus on what comforts you and gradually regain well-being. When you are sad, you can focus on what cheers you up and gradually rediscover serenity. When you feel overwhelmed, choosing a focal point allows you to be productive, regardless of who or what tries to distract you. As more and more people shift their attention from what disturbs them to what makes them happy, your world becomes a more pleasant place. By focusing on news that inspires you, you will naturally notice greater inspiration. When you focus on what makes you feel good in life, unpleasant circumstances receive less attention, less energy, and lose their power to upset you. Dear ones, practice playfully and proactively the power of your concentration as often as possible. Notice the improvement in your feelings and observe the improvements in your life. Far from being a simple energy exercise, it is how you, as souls, knew you could come into this world of contrasts, choose what you like, and manifest the lives you love. God bless you. We love you so much. The angels. Emotional release, dear ones. Many of us are feeling the influx of Taurus. The energies of the upcoming passage invite us to create greater stability and harmony in our bodies and in the new reality. It's not about the moon, but the surrounding energies and the strength of Taurus, embodying its essence to help us connect more deeply with our bodies, loving and accepting ourselves completely to transform them, activating our emotional light body and recovering its harmonious essence, moving from fear and disconnection to pleasure and joy. Taurus teaches us spontaneous and natural manifestation through soul-body alignment and peace with our choices, because when this happens, manifestation is immediate. Taurus represents what all of us, as the ascending family, are now realizing, being the seeders of the new earth, since Taurus, ruled by Venus, invites us to build the love we are into the tangible, on our planet, where we came to be of service, transforming, healing, and restoring what is necessary to create new harmonious structures. This is a long-term planetary project involving many years of our human existence. A project of which we are finally seeing the evidence, as we continue to master how to remain in our soul portals, building our new realities outside of the three-dimensional one. Many of you are now awakening to your soul agreements with other members of your cosmic or earthly soul family, as many of you also have agreements with the beings of inner Earth who help and guide you in your planetary anchoring mission, as they are fundamental to keeping our planet safe during the current transition from within the Earth. Many others will awaken to their mission as Venusian harmonic channels, joining the planetary stabilization that many of you are now supporting, as we continue to overcome the numerous disturbances created to distract our consciousness in an attempt to build a new world order. Venusian channels are born with a unique design that interacts with the Earth's first and second chakras, healing its foundations and planetary emotional body, helping our planetary body heal from all non-benevolent memories and war timelines that it is now remembering and repeating in some parts of the planet. This implies frequent changes, which is what Uranus brings in this passage as the moon's conjunction to this planet, as well as shifts or adjustments to the environment that many of you have been assigned, because for ascending souls, change is always a constant, and we constantly navigate the unknown, creating new foundations and transforming our reality, as we also transform internally, moving toward a higher level of consciousness. Taurus gives us the blessing of creating new roots, building new foundations for our new reality. On a physical level, Taurus governs our two-dimensional emotional body. It offers us the necessary healing to recode our feminine chakra, freeing us from old emotions and attachments so that we can create again from a space of love and complete detachment from the past. The moon is also conjunct with the star Algol, which, although in traditional astrology is seen as a demonic star, for me it is simply another essence of creation that should not be subjected to human interpretation alone. Algol comes to help us face the emotions we don't want to look at, to realize all the ties we maintain for fear of losing our security, old soul connections, or anything else we are attached to, and that must be released and brought to light. It is not a curse. It is a blessing to finally be able to face what we hide within ourselves. It is about freeing ourselves from all emotional blocks so that we can love ourselves and the all once again. According to medical astrology, Taurus activates certain parts of our body, the sexual organs, and therefore the emotional body, but also the neck and throat. The throat is the part of the body that expresses what comes from the emotional body, our feelings and desires, and everything that needs to be expressed. Stiffness in these areas and emotional pain can be a signal, at this time, of the need to release unexpressed emotions. Your voice is where your soul finds expression. Express everything with love, respect, and trust, knowing that you are healing yourself by expressing what you feel, even if this may hurt others' feelings or their expectations of you. Stay true to yourself and set healthy boundaries to know who you are, what you desire, and what you no longer allow. Use sound, if you feel guided, to activate your voice, the unique expression of your soul, because where there is sound, there is healing, remembrance, and release. With the moon conjunct Mercury, our mental body will also be an important aspect to work on during this time, as it is often in the mind where corruption begins, through negative thoughts or implanted programs, leading to self-destructive patterns such as feelings of unworthiness, guilt, and many others, which weaken our emotional and mental body. Mars conjunct Chiron at 28 degrees during the moon helps us bring our wounds to the surface to heal them and unify them with the new understanding we now possess about who we are and where we are going. Impulsivity may emerge as we face our fears and heal our wounded self. Let your higher intelligence govern and balance the ego and its destructive behaviors. Faith, patience, and trust are among the main things this passage asks of us, like the sextile between the moon and Jupiter, which invites us to have trust and hope in our personal healing path, in who we are, and in all the help provided for our personal and planetary evolution. Often, faith and devotion to our inner work are all we need to see progress in the work we are doing or in any other area of our lives. Going back is not an option for us as ascending souls, because once we remember, we become our path, our mission, and our personal truth. We walk as one. There is no more separation. This lunation is significant because it invites us to redirect our energy and seed our desires, and the new energies we are integrating into our bodies, as we are constantly seeding our new ascended bodies with new crystalline forms of consciousness, a higher intelligence that transforms old inner structures and releases old energies to help us become the new evolved human beings in this new planetary cycle. This is the time to train our bodies to release fear, acting as if we were already connected to universal love, even if many of you may be going through challenges that foster personal growth. To neutralize a program, we must change habits and thought patterns, and with Taurus, we have the blessing of the activation and reprogramming of the light body to continue incarnating the highest essences of who we are. When we are tested by our ego and our fear, we ask ourselves what love/God would do at that moment. We then act with divine love and respect for everyone involved, continuing to transform old actions and habits, merging with our enlightened self and with new lives, always focused on the desired outcome, not on what others or our lower mental patterns want us to focus on. May you always act as if you are love, wisdom, and power, because you are divine design, dear ones. I wish you a harmonious and loving passage, dear ones. Within infinite love, Natalia, Alba, Mary Magdalene, soul alignment with purpose. Greetings, my beloveds. It is an honor to be in your presence today and to offer you wisdom, light, and, of course, my unconditional love. I am here to support and envelop you, to be your companion, your friend, and to walk with you as you explore yourselves, the Creator's energies within you, and how to navigate and express these Creator energies through your being into physical reality. Today I would like to speak about purposeful spiritual alignment. Your soul, your energy from which you extend, the Creator's energy, contains everything. It contains everything that the Creator is. It has a connection to everything that the Creator is. Your soul extends from your soul group, so it is an extension of it, an aspect like a piece of a puzzle. It contains the specific qualities, healing vibrations, abilities, knowledge, wonder, all the energies and frequencies you need in this life. It also asks you questions, inviting you to create, on Earth, certain experiences for yourself, so that what you already know, what your soul already knows, can be developed, encouraged, amplified, and embodied. Your soul is a source of information, knowledge, energy, and manifestation for you. Therefore, rather than simply connecting with your soul and asking to receive its energy into your being, asking to embody its energy into your body and being, it is important to have a higher purpose when you connect with your soul. Yes, it is fine to ask your soul to anchor more fully into your physical being. It is already anchored, but by asking it to be more fully present, you invite higher vibrations of your soul into your being. However, you have the ability to create a purpose, to create an alignment that is truly useful at this time. I, Mary Magdalene, invite you to recognize and welcome what you need at this moment. What do you need to take care of yourself, to progress in your spiritual evolution, to increase your body's vitality, to move with ease on Earth? What do you need? It is important to recognize that everything you need in this life is contained within your soul. Part of what you need is already embodied in your physical body. Other aspects reside in the higher realms of your being, and simply need to be anchored more fully. You begin to recognize what you truly need to move forward, to progress, and to be present in this moment. Then you ask your soul for it. You ask to align with that aspect of your soul. For example, it might be that you really want to manifest something, but it just doesn't happen. You might need to ask yourself what you need. It might be that you need something else. You might need confidence. You might need grounding or trust. It might be that you simply need a greater boost in manifestation energy. So you ask your soul. You ask to be aligned with those areas of your soul. If you are struggling with your health, ask for things that help you take care of your health. It is important to recognize and follow your intuition about what you need. You might say, I want to let my soul tell me what is appropriate. However, there is a co-creation taking place between the higher aspects of your soul and your physical reality, and the soul greatly appreciates it when you connect with your intuition and are able to recognize what is needed. It doesn't have to be the right answer, and you can change it often, But the very process of trying to recognize and follow that intuition makes the flow much smoother. You might also be surprised by what you need. You might need a certain vitamin. You might need a certain perspective. You might need a flower essence. You might need an energy that restores certain aspects of your body. You might need vital energy. You might need to release veils and limitations. Or perhaps you need more love or more peace. You have the ability to access and understand exactly what you need. Even if you feel unable to follow your intuition, or even if it seems like nothing happens when you ask, you still have the ability. The more you practice and make the process fun, easy, and fluid, not such an important experience that it has to be perfect at all costs, the more everything will flow naturally. So you ask that your entire being be aligned with that aspect of your soul, and this is called a purposeful alignment, a purposeful soul alignment, because there is a very deep purpose being realized. It is very connected. Connected to what you need, connected to your reality, and also connected to the Creator. Your soul will infuse it into your being. Sometimes it happens instantly, sometimes it takes a few days for its complete transfer, but you will embody that energy. At first you might not notice any difference, but then, maybe in a week, 2 weeks, or a month, you will look back and see the change that has occurred. You will see the difference and how that energy has influenced your being. This is a way to provide for yourself. It is also the way beings on Earth, like me, were able to live on light. We didn't need food. We were able to live on light. It is also a path to immortality. It is a path to everything. The universe is energy. You are energy. You are simply connecting and anchoring energies. And when you connect and anchor energies, that is when they manifest. This is of immense importance at this time because it is essential for you and for every being to receive what you need. In times of fear, deprivation, illness, or distrust, it is necessary to turn to your soul for the nourishment you need. When you become a master of this, you begin to see the world around you in a completely different way. You also realize that your being no longer lacks anything. It no longer desires anything because it simply receives everything it needs. The need is fulfilled, and it is only a request. No specific words are needed. It is simply a request to align with that aspect of your soul, whatever it may be, to bring it download it, and anchor it throughout your being. Sometimes you might ask for an alignment and not feel comfortable, and that's okay. There's no need to blame yourself. Just modify the alignment so that you find one that suits your needs and is more functional. When we set aside the mind and what it believes we need, we manage to access what is truly useful to us, rather than what we think will be useful, which often doesn't happen. I invite you to explore meaningful soul alignments and see how they transform your being, your reality, and your existence. Know that I, Mary Magdalene, will be there with you to support and assist you. I thank you deeply. I am Mary Magdalene. Archangel Gabriel, a new way of living life, dear ones. I am Archangel Gabriel. It is a pleasure for me to join you, to feel your energies, to communicate with you. I am deeply connected to you, and for me, receiving this opportunity is a gift. As you well know, not all human beings invite us to participate in their lives in this way. It is a great joy to be able to communicate, to share our perspectives and our wisdom. You invite us to bring this wisdom, and you offer us an open invitation to merge with your energy. This is a very intense period in your life, and just as you saw with your cat Enzo, there will be many changes around you. Some will involve the passing of loved ones. Others will be great transformations in the landscape around you. And then there will be changes within you as well. You may be surprised by your own change, your evolution, and your acceleration on your ascension path. It may not yet be completely clear to you, but by living moment by moment through the enormous changes you will face, you will begin to discover a window into a new way of living. A way that recognizes the power of your presence in creating. Another aspect is that you will recognize the great joy that is available to you regardless of circumstances. And another aspect within you will begin to have greater awareness of those among us who are non-physical. You may experience moments of telepathy, a sense of interconnectedness, and powerful transmissions of energies. Sometimes it may even be disorienting, but it is for your highest good. And your ability to handle it depends on the welcome you offer it with love. When you awaken in any form, whether through an external or internal change, resistance creates friction, while welcoming leads to acceptance. It's about choosing between seeing it as a difficult change or opening yourself to discovering the blessings that may be inherent in that change, in a way you could not otherwise perceive unless you choose to welcome them. So, when you encounter differences in your way of being, in how you perceive yourself, others, and the world around you, keep in mind the power of being present. The expansive nature of your heart's energy. Tuning into the frequency of love rather than fear or anxiety can open doors to an experience completely different from what you would have if you faced it with resistance and fear. The channel reflects on this theme through the passing of her cat, Enzo, which serves as an excellent analogy. It was the sudden awareness that the moment of death was approaching, and the acceptance of this fact, rather than rejection or fighting the inevitable transition. This allowed her and her partner to face this moment with great serenity, allowing this being called Enzo to explore his own emotions, his own desires, and his own transition path, without imposition, without obligation, but with acceptance, love, and encouragement, to do so from a state of awareness. So, as small as this may seem compared to the changes in your world, it is no different as a model. Often we encounter situations that surprise us by their timing or the direction they take. But facing them moment by moment, day by day, leads to a fulfilling outcome, regardless of the intended trajectory. When you embrace what is, with full acceptance, allowing yourself to receive the transmission of this experience, being here now, in that situation, for a reason, then you can relax. Your higher wisdom makes its way into your perspective, and you are able to handle things with greater fluidity and support. The same goes for inner things. Take it one step at a time, and continue to discern the truth, to sense the energies present, and the direction they will guide you toward the best and highest outcome. Let go of the need to know the outcome in advance. The best choice may not be evident until the very last moment, and this requires a new level of surrender, of acceptance, and an invitation to relax into the process and the outcome in a new way. We invite you to do this in all aspects of your life, to reduce the time you spend worrying, to release the impulse to control an outcome, to experience new levels of trust, even in your own internal navigation system. That system is directly connected to the energy of Source, so that you can understand, to a greater extent than before, that it will always guide you toward the best path to meet your needs. Sometimes what you imagine will not meet your needs, but it will be your soul's desire, whether you are fully aware of it or not. Therefore, trust is a significant factor in navigating this rapidly changing world you live in. To understand how to find peace when things change quickly, when the environment around you transforms, or when your inner landscape appears different. All of this is part of the evolutionary path you have chosen to walk, and you need not fear what happens in any area of your life. Let go, trust, and enjoy the journey. I am Archangel Gabriel,